Hey YouTube, this is City Prepping. One of my subscribers, Michael Hicks, brought to my attention via email, and I've seen this on a few other places, the situation going on with the firearm policy on YouTube. And I thought I'd do a quick video to talk about it because in the prepper community, obviously the concept or the discussion rather of firearms does come up periodically. And it's something that I think warrants to, definitely talk about it a little more in a video. When I saw the policy, I read through it, and I'll provide a link in the description section below if you want to check that out and read a little about it. It was interesting because, again, one of the things I love about YouTube is just the aspect of being able to talk about whatever and, within limits like any other platform. And I was a little surprised when I saw some of the definitions that they had outlined that were, in a sense, very stringent. But one of the things as I was reading through it, again, it was a little frustrating. But I realized, look, here is a platform that is kind of like a rented space, so to speak. We're all on this, we're enjoying it, it's free for you as a subscriber, and there's certain things that this platform is asking in return. And really at the end of the day, their model is just like any other model out there, like TV or anything else. They depend on advertisers to pay for it, to keep it afloat, and as long as they keep those advertisers happy, they're going to continually get revenue. Now, as an individual, it does feel like, in a sense, that I'm getting my rights restricted. I have lived in foreign countries where there were certain things you can't say. You couldn't say the word, Jesus or God, because then, if you said that via email or something like that, you could, flag attention, and, so we would have to be really careful about what we say. And again, we live in a country where we enjoy our First Right Amendments and, loving the ability to have freedom of speech. And so it almost kind of feels like a slap in the face when you read something like this and you're like, hey, wait a minute, I thought I have rights. I thought I can say what I want on this platform. But again, I'm not trying to defend YouTube as much as I'm just trying to say I get it. If you look at most any business models in America, everything depends on what? It depends on money to pay for it, to enable it to whatever thrive as a platform. And YouTube is no exception to that. As much as you think, oh, this platform's, probably get all this money. Well, yeah, they do. But again, you have to realize they bought it for $1 billion a few years ago. And like any other business, they're trying to get a return on their investment. And, as the channel has grown, my channel has grown, I have been assigned a individual to work with me on my channel that kind of coaches me, helps me with the basics. And we have conversations periodically. And, again, one of the things that she's trying to emphasize and trying to help balance is, look, we want to help you as a YouTube channel make friendly content that YouTube is going to appreciate and we're going to reward you on. But at the same time, we also have this balance and responsibility to pay for or take care of our advertisers. So again, this video is not necessarily about trying to defend YouTube and the advertisers and saying those guys are the most important. But again, we have to realize the platform that we're on and what this model is all about. Now, there are other channels out there. There are other avenues. I know Hickok45 has a pretty big channel, and he's had to move over to, I think, full360.com. I may be butchering it. I'll put the link in the description section below if you want to check out that website. And again, it's more of a gun-friendly type of platform that enables individuals to, do video reviews on guns. Now, the good news is, at this time, the time of the recording of this video, there is no restrictions on specifically talking about firearms. There are restrictions on talking about things like high cap mags, how to build firearms, how to reload. I was actually going to do a video recently with R&B Tactical Tooling. I did a video for them about 5-6 months ago, and I unfortunately had to take the video down a few days ago because it specifically is a video that teaches you how to make an 80% lower receiver, which YouTube is going to flag. And unfortunately, if you get enough 3 strikes on your YouTube channel, they'll take you down. Obviously, I don't want that to happen, so I had to take the video down. I had to talk to the owners of the company, and I felt really bad because they're a startup company. They're here in Southern California. They're behind enemy's lines. If you know anything about Southern California, there are a lot of bans and restrictions on certain type of firearms. Now, a lot of my viewers on this YouTube channel are international, and so a lot of you already live this reality that you live with restrictions with firearms. Obviously, a prepper channel, this being a prepper channel, firearms does come up. I don't think firearms is, the pinnacle of prepping, but I think it's one of the pillars for sure. I think having the ability to exercise your Second Amendment rights, your ability to protect yourself, I think is important. Unfortunately, what happened recently in Florida, You have seen movements like March for, I'm sorry if it's March for Hope or March for Life, I'm probably messing it up. That was last weekend in Washington, D.C. I can understand the frustration that young people are having when they're seeing these type of shootings happen more and more on a regular basis, and the only thing politicians are saying is thoughts and prayers, and there's no actions that are being taken. And so do I blame young people that are taking up this as their purpose or mission to go and protest? Not really. If I were in that position, I was young, I'd probably be pretty frustrated too that nothing is being done. And so I'm not by any means saying, hey, let's just throw away our Second Amendment rights and get rid of guns. But on the flip side, there needs to be something done. And we've talked about this often in the gun community. Many people are skittish even bringing up the subject because of fear of backlash. And I'm no exception. Obviously, I love the rights that I have as an American to firearms. But I realize that on the same token that the current pace that we're on, the current path or trajectory we're on, it's unsustainable to continue to see firearms and not firearms, but other shootings the way we're seeing in schools. And again, I realize they're a very, very, very small percentage of what actually happens. And again, I'm sure the comment section is going to be lit up on this, that everybody's going to, show me all the stats. Yes, I know the stats very well, but on the at the same time, I realize that our current position in America to allow these things to happen with no action being taken, I think that's, that needs to change. So, one of the things that, as I prepared this video, it was something that I was very apprehensive to bring up because, again, I enjoy my rights. I enjoy my freedoms and my liberties. And unfortunately, I'm watching those erode more and more each day because of the actions of crazy individuals. And, for me, I've been really racking my head. What are the answers? I don't really know, but I know something needs to change and something needs to happen. And I think we're seeing that happen in America. And the sad reality is, unfortunately, in these situations, individuals like myself and you, we lose rights. What I will say, and getting back to the main point of this video, is that if you are an individual that you're looking at firearms, you're looking to get expertise and skills, I would definitely encourage you to begin downloading certain videos that are on YouTube at the time, again, of recording of this video. I'd plan on putting a bunch of video links in the description section below, but to be quite honest, it took everything to get up and be able to record this video. I've been really busy with my business and I'm trying to sell a house and so many other things. So I've tried to pull aside for just a second to talk about this, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna post a few links in the description section below to a few videos that I think are really smart to download. I've built several ARs from the ground up, and there's videos that I found on YouTube that were extremely helpful. I'll put a link to them. I have no idea if they're gonna be up tomorrow, next week, in a month. They may be already gone or banned or flagged or whatever. I would like to get community involvement as well in this video. If there's videos that you think are, again, in accordance with the new YouTube policy, are probably gonna be banned here pretty soon, post those in the comments section below. And what I'll do is, after a couple of weeks, I'll put together kind of a list of what I think are the best videos, or probably a group of videos that I think are gonna be really useful and helpful. And I'll post those in the comments section and I'll pin it so that as individuals, you can all go and download that. Of course, the question is, how do I download a YouTube video? It's extremely easy. Just go to Google and type in how to download a YouTube video. And again, I'll post a link to that, that search if you want to figure out. There's a gazillion tools online that will enable you to download videos. The sad reality is, again, there's certain videos and there's certain ideas and there's certain things that we can learn that are going to be gone in a few months, and if not sooner. And I would encourage you to begin to download those now for your own personal library of knowledge and skills that you would like to pick up in time. And again, I realize that a lot of the viewers on this channel, I think about a third of you are international, and you may say, hey, well, this is not applicable to me. I can't even, watch these type, or we don't even have the rights to firearms in our country. And again, I feel bad for you, but hopefully in time that can change for you as well. But these are videos that you might want to also consider downloading. As always, I would love to get your feedback. I know I've said a few things in this video that are probably going to upset a few people. And again, please understand my position. I have a strong respect for the Second Amendment. I have a strong respect for individual rights and freedoms. But on the same hand, one of the things that I realize, and I've had this conversation with a lot of friends, is that, I've been racking my head. What is the answer? What are the solutions to this? Because the things that we're seeing, the firearm violence or the shootings, in public schools, unfortunately is becoming a more and more and more common occurrence. If you look it up, if you Google the stats, again, I realize those are the type of things that get publicized, that get blown up, and people always ask, well, why hasn't any attention been given in the past to other types of shootings, other types of things that have gone on? Why is it just now that we're beginning to look at this and beginning to restrict freedoms and rights that we have as individuals? Again, it all comes down to media. It comes down to attention that's being brought to the subject. But on the same token, again, I realize that there has to be something done. What I fear, and I know this may sound self-serving as a firearm owner, but what I fear is that at times, as firearm owners, we'll take such a strong stand that we'll say, nobody's going to touch this. I'm not going to budge on anything. And what ends up happening is you become hardened, more and more hardened on a particular position. And when something like this happens, because there's no, and I hate to use the word, even giving of, trying to find a resolution, what ends up happening is that, a lot of people, and I've had friends that they've been, pro Second Amendment. They've been totally like, hey, if you want this right, that's totally cool. I have no problem with it. But now as they're seeing these shootings happen more and more, even they have become extremely agitated to the point where I've watched individuals say, hey, you know what, I'm going to take a hard stand against this. And these were individuals that 6 months ago, they wouldn't even have cared if you brought up about, owning a semi-automatic rifle. They could care less. But now a lot of them I'm watching more and more becoming hardened and turning to saying, hey, you know what, let's just take that away entirely. Do I agree with that? Of course not. But what again, this is what I'm really racking my head on. What is the solution? I would love to hear your feedback below. I'm sure about 95% of you will probably say, there is no solution. Keep our rights. Don't let anybody touch it. And I respect your position, but I think something's going to change in our nation in the next year or two. I remember back in the 90s during Clinton's era, they did ban AR-15 semi-automatic rifles, and over time that was repealed. Thankfully, again, I enjoy my freedoms. I enjoy ARs. I've trained on them extensively. I have no military background experience, but I've been fortunate enough to train on them, and I enjoy hunting, especially hog hunting, in Texas when I get a chance to go down there. So anyway, I'd love to get your feedback. Again, please don't take this and walk away saying this guy's anti-gun, because I'm not. But I would love to hear your feedback. I'm always looking for solutions. I'm always looking for some type of solution that hopefully will meet both parties in the middle. I don't even know if that's on the table anymore. I'm assuming people are becoming so hard on one way or the other. But when it comes to YouTube, I'm watching this play out. And again, I've unfortunately had to take a video down. But look, at the end of the day, is prepping about firearms? Not necessarily. I think it is one of the pillars, but unfortunately becomes a pinnacle on a lot of prepper channels that I've watched. And so, again, post your comments below, your feedback, and I'll stop rambling here. I'm going to keep saying that over and over. Post your comments. But as always, I love hearing back from the community because I learned so much. I know this is kind of an off-the-cuff video. It's not scripted. It's just something that I've been kind of rolling around in my head over the last, several months, several years for that matter. And I'd love to have an honest dialogue. But as always, be safe out there.